Hi, and welcome to this training video. In this video presentation, we will explain the B4 software modules and provide an overview of the components. The B4 controller is installed on a Windows server and consists of several services, including a SQL database, the B4 rules engine, as well as the reporting engine. The main configuration user interface component is the so-called B4 console, which provides the whole toolkit for configuring, monitoring, and maintaining the automation system. You can run multiple B4 consoles from various locations depending on your network security configuration. Furthermore, you have the B4 dashboard, which is a web service running on the B4 controller, and can also be accessed from various locations if required. The B4 dashboard is a so-called live reporting feature for admins, as well as for non-admin business users. Lastly, the B4 Report Designer is an extensive reporting suite intended for advanced users who require specialized reports such as service level availability and performance reports. Once inside the B4 console, there are various modules to pay attention to. We will cover the essential functions for configuring RPA bots in this session. In this slide, you can see a representation of the modules, and how you can think of them in terms of the bot features. The Object Manager allows the bot to monitor statuses and actions, while the Graphical Rules Editor is a logic-based workflow that allows the bot to make decisions. The Automation Manager, on the other hand, is where the individual actions of the bot are configured. Let's start with the Object Manager. Every device, object and service that will be used by the automation system is organized in this module, and can be managed from this perspective. As you can see in this example, we have a group of objects. Under the HR department pod, we have a device group, an agent device, a bot, and under the bot we can see multiple objects the bot requires to execute the process. Here we have a few bot actions and a timer trigger. Different objects will have different functions, properties and statuses. For example, if we right-click on the bot, we can create new services, such as a new bot checkpoint. If we right-click on a bot checkpoint, we can execute it or change some settings. The timer trigger service in this example has different settings and functions as other objects. The statuses you see are a live feedback mechanism to the system, allowing for automation as well as monitoring of the bots to take place. Object statuses are also recorded in the database for reporting purposes. For more details regarding the different bot functions, please check the Virtual Client Manual, which you can find in the Documents section of the B4 dashboard. Now, let's move to the Automation Manager module. The Automation Manager allows the user to create bot actions called recordings. As you can see in this example, the 4 actions we saw in the Object Manager are also here. If we click on one of these recordings, we can see the details and individual steps that are configured. Once a bot action is configured, it can be deployed to one or multiple checkpoint objects in the Object Manager. A recording will keep a link to the object it has been deployed to, as you can see here. If a recording needs to be edited, it can be done in the Automation Manager. For the bot to take over the changes, it needs to be redeployed. Furthermore, B4 has a function library with built-in functions that can be integrated in the recording. Here are some examples. The Automation Manager has many useful features to configure bot actions. You can find out more information in the Virtual Client Manual. Lastly, let's cover the all-important graphical rules editor. Let's open this example rule. This workflow editor allows the user to add and connect objects from the Object Manager into a logic, rules-based automation workflow. If we create a new rule here, we can start creating a workflow by adding objects into it. As you can see here, the structure is the same as in the Object Manager, and we can pick the object we require and add it into the editor. For example, if we pick the timer, it will appear as an object in the editor. Next, we can add an action function and choose the bot action we require. Now we can connect the two objects and define a status on which this rule will be triggered. In this example, the action will trigger when the timer changes its status to down. Once the rule is saved and enabled, it will trigger based on the conditions defined in the workflow. And this is how a user can then create a workflow like displayed here. To summarize, in order to create an RPA process, we create so-called recordings in the Automation Manager, we deploy these to objects in the Object Manager, and then use the Graphical Rules Editor to create automation rules. This concludes this overview video. Thank you for watching.